On a cold October morning in 1849, Edgar Allan Poe was found delirious on a Baltimore street, wearing someone else's clothes. Days later, he was dead. His final words, "Lord, help my poor soul." No one knows where he'd been. No one knows what happened. For over 170 years, doctors, historians, and theorists have tried to uncover the truth. But what if the answer is even darker than his stories? They found him slumped on a Baltimore street, delirious, disheveled, and wearing another man's clothes. His words were nonsense. His eyes darted in fear, and the only thing he could whisper was a single name: Reynolds. The newspapers said he was drunk. The doctors said he was mad. But no one could explain why the most haunting writer of the 19th century ended up like this. He vanished for 6 days before they found him. No luggage, no friends. Just a famous man at death's door, and a mystery that would never be solved. What really happened to Edgar Allan Poe in those final hours? The official records offer only silence. But when you dig deeper into politics, secret societies, and a trail of bizarre deaths, you'll discover the truth is far darker than his fiction. This is not just a story. It's a warning. From the moment he was born, death lingered close. His mother, an actress, died when he was just 3. Then his father vanished. Edgar became an orphan, raised not by family, but by wealthy strangers who never truly accepted him. He excelled at school, but pain followed, heartbreak, poverty, addiction, and the deaths never stopped. Even when he fell in love, fate was cruel. He married Virginia Clem, his 13-year-old cousin, and then she too began to fade. She died in their home, cold, frail, barely 24. And when she passed, something inside Edgar broke forever. Some say it was this grief that created his genius. Others say it drove him mad. Either way, his writing was never the same. "6 days. That's how long Poe vanished without a trace. No hotel records, no witnesses. Just silence. Some say he boarded the wrong train. Others whisper of a beating or a kidnapping. But there is no record of where he went. The Poe you know, the master of the macabre, was vanishing in real time. But not just from sight, from sanity. He left Richmond in perfect health, but when he was found, his brain was inflamed, his clothes weren't his own, and he was screaming. Delirium tremens, alcohol poisoning. Maybe. But the doctors weren't sure. Even the hospital staff said his symptoms didn't fit any known illness. This wasn't just a mystery. It was the unraveling of a man's mind, in front of everyone, and no one could stop it. October 3rd, 1849. Poe was found in a gutter. But what happened from September 27th to October 2nd? No one knows. 6 days gone, erased. He left Richmond in high spirits. He had just joined the Sons of Temperance. He was engaged, clean, focused. It was meant to be a new chapter. Then, nothing. No record of his arrival in Philadelphia. No hotel stays. No letters. Just a void. A man simply vanished. Some say he was kidnapped. Others believe he was poisoned or beaten. Theories swirl, cooping, secret societies, even demonic possession. All we know is he was found outside a polling station on Election Day, babbling, broken, and dressed in rags. Not his own. 6 days, 6 missing chapters, and maybe the key to it all. In the shadows of Poe's final days, whispers of a secret society emerge. A brotherhood with roots in the Masonic order, known for rituals and revenge. Some believe Poe was inducted into their ranks. Others say he betrayed them. Whatever the truth, their symbols appear again and again on his gravestones, in his unfinished works, and in letters long buried. A letter found decades later hinted Poe was warned not to return to Baltimore. It was unsigned, but the wax seal bore a strange mark, a compass and dagger in red. Some say Poe's stories weren't fiction. They were coded warnings. The murders, the madness, the buried secrets mirrored the rituals of a group sworn to silence. Why did he leave no will? Why no funeral announcement? Why was his grave unmarked for decades? Those in power feared what he knew. If Poe was silenced, what was he trying to say before they got to him? On October 7, 1849, Edgar Allan Poe took his final breath. He was just 40 years old. The official cause of death? Congestion of the brain, a vague term even then. But the questions didn't stop at his grave. Why was he found in someone else's clothes? Why did no one come to claim him for days? And who, or what, was Reynolds? He was buried in a pauper's grave with barely a service, no fanfare, no great obituary. A man whose words haunted the world, vanishing like a ghost. And then, years later, they moved his body, dug him up, gave him a grander monument. But by then, the man was long gone. Only the mystery remained. Maybe the reason we never solved the case is because Poe didn't want us to. Maybe, like all his stories, the horror was never meant to end. They buried him quietly. Few mourners. No grand farewell. Just a man lowered into the earth, his genius overshadowed by scandal. But then, the stories began. A dark figure visiting his grave each year. A bottle of cognac. A single red rose. Always left before dawn. Some say it was a secret society. Others say Poe never died. That his mind still lingers where the veil between life and death is thin. His words live on, etched in ink, buried in minds. But the man, he remains a shadow, a whisper, a question the world still can't answer. Over 170 years later, the mystery hasn't faded. In fact, it's only grown stranger, with theories darker than anything Poe ever wrote. Some say it was cooping, a brutal voter fraud scheme. Gangs kidnapped men, forced them to vote multiple times, changing clothes between each ballot. When they were done with you, they left you to die. Others believe he was poisoned by enemies, jealous rivals, or even secret societies. His last letters hinted at being followed, watched, targeted, and some claim it was madness. That grief and poverty finally broke his brilliant mind. But his doctor's report was missing. His medical files vanished. And then there are the truly bizarre theories: mind control, cults, government experiments. Too absurd to believe until you start connecting the dots. What if Poe's death wasn't just a mystery, but a cover-up? What if everything, from the missing records, to the clothes that weren't his, to the whispered name Reynolds, was a piece of one final horrifying truth? One theory suggests Poe uncovered something: political corruption, voter fraud, or even occult practices, and was silenced. The 6 days he vanished, maybe he was being interrogated, or drugged, or worse. But here's what we do know. Poe was found near a polling place. It was election day. He was wearing clothes that didn't belong to him, and he was delirious, terrified, repeating a single name. And then, nothing. A man, brilliant, tormented, visionary, dies in silence. No justice, no answers, only questions, as if someone, somewhere, wanted him erased. Maybe the truth isn't out there in some archive. Maybe it was buried alongside Poe himself. More than 170 years have passed, and still, no one knows how Edgar Allan Poe truly died. Some say it was alcoholism, others say it was politics, or even a Masonic plot. But the truth? It lies in the space between fiction and fear. What we do know is this: Poe's final story was not written with ink, but in mystery, shadows, and silence. He gave us tales of haunted mansions, talking ravens, and hearts beating beneath the floorboards. But the darkest tale of all was his own. Poe was more than a writer. He was a mirror, reflecting the madness of his time, and perhaps of our own. And if his death remains a mystery, it's because it was never meant to be solved, only remembered. If this story moved you, like and subscribe for more haunting history and forgotten truths. Leave your theory in the comments. And remember, the past is never truly buried.